Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be reacting to top 7 deadliest backrooms entities of all time. Let's hop right into it.
Today, I will be explaining the top 7 deadliest backrooms entities
Okay.
of all time. These are creatures that
Okay.
you could not survive an encounter with. They have the most horrific designs, descriptions, personalities,
Yeah, I'm good.
hunting methods, and they're usually the ones that are a threat to any human they encounter. These entities live in the deepest and darkest, most isolated section of what we call the backrooms,
Of course they do. That's why they're the most deadliest, right?
and they wait and watch to
I literally have goosebumps. It is literally 6:07 p.m. I have goosebumps watching this.
eat your flesh.
Okay, I guess we should hop right into it, right?
So go ahead and lock in, grab some popcorn, get ready to be scared.
Let's lock in.
Thank you for watching, and let's get into these entities, shall we? Also, leave a like if you want more long videos, that way I know you do. Bye!
Entity sleep paralysis demon. Of course, we're starting with sleep paralysis demon, of course. Well.
So before I explain the creature, its history, and all that stuff, you first have to understand exactly what sleep paralysis is. So sleep paralysis puts an individual in an in-between state of sleeping and being awake.
Why does that look like Joe Bartolozzi?
A state of limbo, if you will. During this limbo, the individual becomes aware of their surroundings, but their muscles and their ligaments are paralyzed.
They pretty much like can't move. They can't do anything.
So pretty much you can see what's around you, but you can't move. You also can't talk either. In real
Yeah, it's kind of like the worst type of dreams to have, not gonna lie.
life, only about 7.6% of people have this phenomenon.
7.6? That's crazy. I kind of want to have a lucid dream. Sleep paralysis demon, just see how it would like just for one night, see how it would be like.
But we are not in real life. In this canon, we are in the backrooms.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na.
And in the backrooms, it doesn't care about statistics. So when you're trapped
I think those are called smilos. Let's hope I got that right.
in this liminal hellscape, your pain, your suffering, your
You cooked.
mind, your trauma, your fears, and all your irrational phobias are given life. And they'll haunt you when you're awake walking around, but it's worse when you try to fall asleep. That's where this entity comes into play. This entity has been given a couple of names. Entity 58, the sleep paralysis
So they call it Entity 58, or AKA the sleep paralysis demon,
demon, or even just the demon is what it's known by. And it's
or the demon.
considered to be one of the least understood creatures in all of the back.
Well, I mean, I would kind of, I don't know, I would kind of expect that because it's literally a sleep paralysis demon. Only people who experience the sleep paralysis demon can talk about it, if you know what I mean.
Lore. It's physically dangerous, and
Of course it is.
it can give someone lasting mental effects as well. But
So it can cause them forever trauma. What else is new?
let's get right into the biology of this entity. That way we can put together a proper timeline of events if you encounter it. So as of right now, it's
What is on my screen? I don't even want to walk. I don't even want to look.
impossible to say if the entity has the power
No, I don't like that. No.
to actually invade people's heads when they're in sleep paralysis,
Yeah, I did not like that photo.
or if it's just an invisible entity that's invisible to other people nearby. We don't know if it's physical or mental yet. But
Normally sleep paralysis demon
What we do know is that during an attack from this creature, the bystanders cannot see it and they cannot hear it, but they can see the wounds that the victim receives. So it seems like the victim can see and hear and touch whatever it is, and to be honest, that makes it more terrifying.
So pretty much people scars it.
Because even if your friends wanted to help you, they couldn't, because they couldn't see what's attacking. The entity has also been known to take many forms, or shapeshifts, as they've been named, and I'm going to get into all those shapeshifts
So it's kind of like Pandora's box. It just turns
right now. Shape number one is the rarest form, and it is a grotesque embodiment of darkness that hides in your peripheral vision. You really can't fully see it ever, and as it appears, it appears right out of view in the corner of your eye. But if you look over at it, you'll be consumed by the darkness. You gotta keep your eyes open. Now, shapeshift number 2 is just a vague, expansive darkness. Kind of like when you're looking into a room and there's a dark corner. There's not necessarily a shape or anything to it in this shapeshift. You just know there's a shadow there. You know something's there. It just takes the form of a shadow. Shapeshift 3 takes the appearance of a very tall, shadowy, hairless, humanoid figure. This figure is estimated to be about 10 foot tall.
I don't like this.
And has very long and bony arms and fingers, and it looks ungainly with a huge mouth and large features. And this creature has also been reported to have very unnerving characteristics, as if a giant shadow isn't unnerving enough. I don't know. Now, Shapeshift 4 is a strange turn of events, because this version has the entity taking the appearance of a shadowy human figure with, like, octopus features. So the body and shape is also very non-Euclidean and glitchy, and it doesn't seem to obey physics. Its legs can extend for over like 20 feet, and its arms and stuff kind of just glitch and warp constantly.
So it's kind of like a dream. It can find physics.
So imagine a shadow shaped like an octopus with legs and arms that can stretch out forever. The final form of this creature that's been seen is the most common, and that is Shapeshift 5. It is just a blurry creature figure that cannot be identified by any features. It looks kinda human from far away, but not so much as it does in Shapeshift 3. Anyways, this is the one you're most likely to see, just a blurry human type shape that you can't make out any features on, which is kind of better than a giant shadow human or a giant octopus thing, I guess. Before this entity was discovered, most people thought that the random wanderers' bodies that they would find in the backrooms were just mangled victims of hounds and skin stealers and smilers and so on. But now that we know this thing exists, it could be the reason for all these horrific injuries, and the reason so many wanderers are found not walking around, if you know what I'm saying. After all, you can't run away from something if you can't move. And that is seemingly the only reason this creature attacks during sleep paralysis. It's unknown if the creature itself causes sleep paralysis.
I wonder if the creature is there are like multiple people in the back. How do they find that out? Do you just like know?
Or if it just knows that when a human is in sleep paralysis, they can't move.
Sorry about that.
We're not sure yet. Again, we're still learning about more and more every day. It's assumed that the rate of sleep paralysis is way higher in the backrooms due to what I was saying earlier. You know, this higher.
I mean, wouldn't it be because you'd be like physically and mentally going crazy? If I was in the backroom, I would probably mentally go crazy.
Trauma, higher isolation, you're by yourself constantly, and you see these weird creatures, you see these weird environments, it makes your head see things. So this entity uses that trauma and isolation as a way to hunt and ultimately consume. But how does it actually work? It's said that the creature targets wanderers who sleep on hard surfaces, so like the ground or a table or like wood or something, and this
Yeah, but why can't fucking pillow?
matters for a few things. Sleeping on a hard surface actually changes the electrical waves that your brain
So if you sleep on hard surfaces, type of sleep you could be in. Helpful is though, like and this is beta wave. You see, um, the wave, delta wave, when interesting.
puts out, and it channels them differently. So once the entity seemingly notices a
That's how they find them. Is
wanderer falling asleep, they'll wait for the brain waves to be at that exact point right between sleep and right between awakeness for sleep paralysis to happen. And then once they notice it, it will jump into the wanderer's view. Again, no one else can see it. Only the person experiencing it can see it. So it has to have some kind of cloaking mechanism or it appears in their mind. So at the start of an experience with this entity, it always seems to manifest itself like 5 to 7 yards away from the victim until the victim falls fully into paralysis where they can't move. After this point, the creature will then move inches closer over time, each blink moving it closer and closer until it attacks you, while your friends watch helplessly by the sidelines. Theories on what this creature
oh no, was my audio bad that whole time? If it was bad, I'll react to this.
actually is range from it being a puppet of a stronger entity to it just being all a dream, and the victims were attacked by an actual entity, not this creature. But the evidence does point towards it being a very powerful entity that has the ability to cloak itself in sleep paralysis or cloak itself to anyone watching that's not
Yeah, I actually do not like this entity at all.
the victim. And it chooses to show its final form to its victim almost as like playing with its food. You know, it kind of shows itself and then knows that the person can't move and then it goes after him. So if you do fall into sleep paralysis and you end up experiencing this entity, the best way to stay alive is to try to keep eye contact with it, because this will sometimes wake you up. It'll kickstart your adrenaline and you'll wake up. On the other hand, do not ever look away if this entity is in your field of view or anything, because the second you do or you lose sight of it, it'll move closer and closer until it can attack you. Also, just don't sleep on hard surfaces, because that will amplify those sleeping waves and lure the entity closer to you. But yeah, that was the sleep paralysis demon. Seems like a pretty cool guy, right? I wonder who'd win in a fight though, the sleep paralysis demon or Pinhead, the creature I made. Let me know in the comments.
Not gonna lie, I hope none of them. I think I'm gonna make this video into 4 parts. Let's get switched between the different entities. So I think I'm gonna end this part here, and we'll pick up with the primary color man. I'll see you guys in the next section. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back, guys. I just want to say my mic did cut out in some of the part because it unhooked from my headset, and I did not realize it till near the end. So if you can barely hear me or can't hear me at all, it's because it did disconnect. I will start checking it in the next section of the video, but I just want to tell you guys, so this is a quick intermission, just tell you that my mic did stop working if you guys couldn't hear me when I paused the video and stuff like that. Let's hop right into the primary color man. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back, everybody. I think I've fixed my microphone issue. I will be checking it like this every once in a while just to make sure my mic is working. Without further ado, let's hop right into the next section of the video called the primary color man. Let's hop right into it.
So the primary color man is a part of the Leon Vincible entity's lore. Now, this lore is very similar to Trevor Henderson creatures, and you might have actually seen some of his creations. The Train Eater, the Dentist, the Camera Heads, they're all from Leon Vincible's lore. They were created by a guy named Adam Woodsmith, a horror artist.
His lore, so he has special lore for himself? Okay.
Who just really loves to depict strange and macabre entities in kind of a found footage format. He has a cool YouTube channel as well. Go check it out. Anyways, he created the
That's pretty cool.
primary color man, and that's what we're going to get into right now. The entity.
Top right into the primary color man.
The primary color man takes the appearance of a large, ungainly humanoid being. Now, accounts on these
Yeah, I do not like the sound of this man, not gonna lie.
specific things regarding the description differ from person to person, but the one consistent is the coloration of this entity. It's always red.
I think he meant to say entity and not empty. We'll skip over that though.
Blue and yellow, the primary colors. He's been seen having tri-colored stripes running down the length of his body. His eyes are small and beady, with white eyes and black
Yeah, I already do not like this guy's color design. Not like this guy's design.
irises. And usually, he's been seen with a huge, unnatural smile stretched
Yeah, I also don't like the smile that he has on, not gonna lie.
across his face. The smile is very unnerving, especially to look at, and it gives people who are victims and who encounter this creature a very bad vibe, and for a very good reason. The teeth of the primary color man are human size and shape, but there's normally way more teeth.
I thought this guy was a clown. Nope, this guy's just the primary color man. Okay. Okay.
Inside the mouth
Okay.
than a normal person would have. As far as the personality of the entity, it's been described as malevolent and vindictive, and it hunts
I have no idea what those words mean, but they kind of sound bad.
humans for sport. It seems like it's a fun game for this creature to hunt and to unalive people.
So it's like a game. So it's a game to them to kill people like humans. Of course it is. It's the Backrooms. Of course it is.
He's even been seen and heard laughing while he's stalking a victim. The abilities. The primary color man is decently
Yeah, I think that design's really cool, but it creeps me the balloons out.
strong, but not really the most powerful entity in the Leon Vincible lore. But it's not the physical
Not gonna lie, I kind of wonder what other entities this like YouTube has and what they are, like what their abilities are.
strength of the entity that it needs to rely on anyhow. It's assumed that the PCM can disrupt the senses of its target and cause complete and utter overstimulation. This will cause hallucinations and tinnitus and that sort of thing to occur in the victim.
I am sorry I'm blowing into the mic, but this guy can this entity, guy, whatever, man, whatever, he can disrupt people's 5 senses. He can cause tinnitus, so he can just blow up your eardrums. Okay, doesn't seem that bad. I guess you'll be deaf. Make you see hallucinations. Let's not. And he can probably mess with your smell and stuff like that. This is a really scary and unnerving entity.
The hallucinations usually involve warping of colors and vision.
So he's just warping our vision now. Not gonna lie, I do not like this entity at all.
Which makes sense because it's the primary color man, warping colors, whatever, you get it. The creature itself also does not
No, like I get the design, but it is creepy, man. It is creepy. Welcome back, guys. I just wanted to cut the camera just to make sure my mic was sounding good, but we're gonna leave off where we left off. We're at this picture of the primary color man. Let's hop right back into it.
obey the laws of physics at all, and it's been seen passing through
Yeah, I do not like this image at all.
solid objects like walls and the ground.
So this guy can phase through items. Of course you can. Like walls and stuff. Of course.
with ease, just passing right through them. He also seemingly has a very strange way of unaliving his poor innocent victims. Fair warning, it's kind of disgusting, but
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little disclaimer in right here in this area. YouTube, I'm just trying to watch some Backrooms information. If this is graphic, I'm sorry, but blame this YouTube up here. Alright, let's hop right into it. Disclaimer has been said.
if you're down for that, then here you go. One of the methods the entity uses is some sort of ability that occurs when he touches the target. Doing this will cause the human target to overstimulate their brain and make their brain go from 0 to 100 instantly. Essentially, think of your brain turning into static. That's what it does when the primary color man touches you. Once this happens, all the primary colors will begin to drip out of your eye sockets and down your cheeks, essentially just sucking all the brains out of your head through your eyeballs.
So pretty much, he gives you 100% of your brain power, but takes all your brain, like the things you need for your brain to like actually work. Like what? So he pretty much just takes all your brain power and then just turns them into color. Of course he does.
In the form of color. I told you it'd be weird, but that was pretty gross, I gotta say. After the entity lets
No, that is kind of gross, but I mean, it's an entity in the background. So I'm not expecting anything less.
go of the victim, their lifeless body will collapse to the ground and leak all the colors from all their orifices. It's unknown the exact physical way this happens, but
So you're telling me he takes the brain power from the person, makes it leak like from their eye sockets, leak color, and then they fall dead, and then their whole body just like oozes out and turns into primary colors. Why? Like, what even is this entity? Well, why does it want to do this to us? Like, what?
it's just assumed it's another one of the powers of the primary
That's kind of disgusting too. Like, it's just lifeless. It's turning into like color. What? Ew.
color man has. It just overloads and overstimulates all your senses.
Yeah, so it just pretty much turns you into color. Pretty much. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, man?
Particularly your eyesight, your smell, and your hearing, to the point where your brain just can't take it anymore, and it just melts through your eyeballs. Hopefully that doesn't get me demonetized. I have a feeling it might, but I hope it does. So who
Same here.
does the primary color man attack? What are the victims of this creature? Normally, it likes to attack people while they're sleeping or in like a helpless state. So if they're in their bed, if they're in their house alone, or if they're exploring some abandoned place and they're all alone, that's typically
Sorry for the burping. So pretty much this guy just likes to feed on the people that are injured or trying to fall asleep. So are we shocked? No. Should we be shocked? No. Should I be scared of this entity? Yes. Should we hop right back into the video? Yes.
who it goes for. Some reports have even claimed that the creature can infiltrate the dreams of victims and kind of cause them horror in that way, almost as if it's like taunting them or something. You might see something dash from your peripheral or an
So it also can hunt you in your dreams. What other things are we gonna hear from this man?
arm reach out from the side of you, and you look over and it's nothing there. It's because he's taunting you, of course. In a disturbing twist, the primary color man is often depicted inside of indoor playgrounds.
Yeah, I do not like this entity.
In things like ball pits and slides and things like that. Which, of course, these places are frequented by children.
Yes. Yes. Ha ha ha. Yes. Yes. So this entity mostly hunts children in ball pits. Okay.
Which might mean that this entity hunts kids. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to blend
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, probably.
into all the colorful ball pits and mats and slides.
I mean, he is only red, yellow, and blue, so he would blend out in green, but it's mostly the colors in the ball pit, I guess.
and stuff, since it's the same color as the primary color man. And because of this,
But what are these images this guy's pulling out? I feel like these images are unsettling.
it's safe to say, never go into a ball pit or a trampoline park alone at all, because you have no idea what might be lurking in the bottom of a ball pit. Yet another strange twist of events, the primary color man has been known to be seen in the Backrooms, and it seems that the Backrooms itself can't even contain him. That's how powerful he is. He can glitch.
So this man is so powerful. So he can't even stay in his own existing world. He has to leak into the Backrooms. So wait, let me get this straight. This guy was in another universe and then just pops up in the Backrooms right here. He just pops up in the Backrooms and just the Backrooms can't stop him. What is this logic? But whatever. I mean, the logic is kind of weird, but okay. So he can't be stopped from entering the Backrooms. Of course he can't.
Right through walls to get back to real life. So this dude just can go from the Backrooms to real life almost as a vacation, while everyone else is
Yeah, that's kind of very horrifying, to say the least.
stuck down there forever. That's pretty cool. There's actually a counterpart entity.
Oh yeah, it's kind of cool. Wow, he literally kills kids. Why is there a woman on my screen, and why does she even look more I might have to blur this part. I don't know.
To the primary.
But it might just be YouTube. I'm sorry if you're seeing this part. I did not know this was in here. I'm sorry if this violates your rules and stuff. Sorry, back into it.
Color man that goes by the very creative name of the secondary color woman, who, you guessed it, is.
Yeah, I'm gonna secondary cross over this because I don't want my stuff to get copyright striked, you know? So I'm gonna slowly skip over that and go back to the primary color man, which we will actually only heal for.
She's actually very kind and tends to help people that are being chased by the original entity. She can actually open up holes in walls to kind of form tunnels for you to run through if the primary color man is chasing you.
Oh, so she helps you. She doesn't hurt you. She wants to help you from the color man. Oh.
And she's been known to fight it off and like he.
So he wants to kill people. She wants to save people from him. Oh, primary and secondary? Oh, like they're opposites? Oh, why does that actually kind of make sense, though?
Heated fistfights. So good on you, secondary color woman. We appreciate you. Now it's unknown.
We love you. we enjoy your entity presence.
If these entities are related, and it's also unknown where they came from. But they do seem to exist in this weird sort of state. But
yeah, I feel like they could be related because they're both color people, like primary color man, secondary color woman. But they both have color in their name. I feel like they could be related, but we still have no idea where they came from.
Between consciousness and dreaming. So we don't really know where they fall, but we do know they're real. And you better
That is kind of weird.
hope that if you encounter one of them, you encounter the secondary color woman and not the primary color
So we want to find this woman, not the man. Good to know.
man, if you like your brains not liquid and colorful.
Okay, so we're gonna end this part of the video right here. We have finished the primary color man. The next part is gonna be entity 832. I'll see you all in the next part, aka entity 832. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back, guys. I just want to say if my mic sounds bad, it's because I was talking a little too loud. I was getting a little too excited into the pinhead entity, but I will try to not be as excited, but talk just enough so you guys can hear me. Just want to give a little quick intermission, a quick heads up before you watch this pinhead section. I'll see you guys right in the pinhead section. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back, guys. This is the third part of the video. This is made by this YouTuber. This entity is called Entity 832. Let's hop right into this part of the video.
So this entity, like I just said, is called Entity 832,
Also, aka named Pinhead. Let's continue.
aka Pinhead. It's called Pinhead because it sort of resembles the shape of a bowling pin. It's believed that there is only actually one entity that can somehow project itself to different places, but that's not confirmed. Entity 832
So there might only be one Pinhead, okay?
can only appear on odd numbered levels.
Interesting. So if you're on even levels, you'll save. That's good.
So levels like 1, 3, and 5, and so on. And even then, it's just a 16.7590%.
He acts like this percent chance is so low. That is actually a pretty high percentage. That is almost 17%. There's a 17% chance I get Pinhead in my Backrooms level. And you're also hopping between levels, so the chance of it appearing gets, I think, it might even get higher. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to find this entity or come across this entity.
Chance of it actually showing up and making itself known. And you better hope it doesn't. Pinhead appears to you when you fall asleep on the floor of an odd level, but only the floor.
So it is another entity that comes to you when you sleep. It's another entity that comes to you when you're sleeping. Of course it is. Let's go.
And when it does appear to you, you'll start to lucid dream, which is where you can control where your character or yourself is moving.
Of course, it's not when you are in a sleep paralysis state. It's when you can lucid dream, which is when you can be like, whoa, I'm actually in a dream. If you pinch yourself, you should be able to wake up. But I have not had a lucid dream, which is pretty interesting.
And you know you're in a dream, but you can't stop it. And the only way to stop this dream is by falling asleep in the dream. More on that later. Pinhead somehow...
Yeah, that's kind of weird that in a lucid dream, you're forced to fall asleep to, it's kind of, so I'm going to say this again so I get it right. It's kind of weird that you have to fall asleep inside the dream to wake up. I guess another thing about this entity is it transports you to the real world. So it can pretty much get you outside of the backrooms. Is that a good thing or bad thing? It seems like it could be in a dream, so it's probably a bad thing.
Transports you to a reality in this lucid dream. And this...
Oh, never mind. It's a reality inside the dream. So it's not like the actual not actual real life.
reality is your house from real life. It's literally
What?
like a live video feed of reality. You can see everyone in your own life that's just going about their daily lives at home and outside, but they can't see you because you're just invisible. You can't interact with any objects, you just float around. But it is confirmed that the reality you see is the real world. You're actually there.
So you get transported to the real world, but no one can see you or interact with you, but you get to watch your family move on with their day. It's kind of weird, not gonna lie. That's kind of weird.
You're just invisible to everybody, and Pinhead sent you here. Now this feeling of being...
But why did this entity send you here? To like torture you? I'm kind of interested.
trapped back in the...
Some get addicted to being in quote-unquote reality, so they stay. Oh, so they don't want to leave this so-called reality. They don't want to leave this, like, actual real life. So they just stay inside. Why would they want to stay inside? I guess you're not in the backrooms anymore.
quote-unquote real world is really addicting to some people because it's reality, and they try to stay in this dream forever.
Why is it addicting though? You're not actually there. You're just like you're not actually there. You're literally just like never there.
Which is just what Pinhead wants. Because
What?
people can like this dream so much that that their real body that's in the back rooms that's dreaming ends up being neglected because they're asleep. So your body itself can wither away and you can unalive from starvation. Inside the dream itself, Pinhead walks around and torments you the entire time you're in reality. He insults you and he says stuff like, "You've always been invisible."
Sorry about swallowing so hard. So pretty much Pinhead's trying to keep you in the dream so you die inside of the backrooms while you're sleeping. And then he tries to torment you while inside of the stream, saying stuff like "you're always been invisible, you're so far away," stuff like that. Wow, it's kind of this is I don't know. This entity is kind of mean. Not gonna lie.
You're so far away, they don't even miss you. And other lame
They don't even miss you. That's kind of sad.
things like that. Pinhead also will try to jump
So of course he'll try to jump scare you. Of course, of course he will. Why wouldn't he? Or her?
scare you and talk you out of falling asleep in the dream, which is how you exit that dream. So
Oh, so he tries to jump scare you so you don't fall asleep and actually wake up. Oh, so he just tries to prevent you from escaping.
every time you're about to fall asleep, Pinhead will try to jump in front of you or wake you up.
So pretty much every time you try to fall asleep, this man just goes, "Oogie boogie boogie." So you try to fall asleep, "Oogie boogie boogie." Like what?
Some way. You just have to ignore him to go back to normal sleep. There's been 2 instances where Pinhead has physically been in the back rooms with people, and those 2 people are no longer with us.
What? So there's only 2 instances that he's actually been in the backrooms? So why do we even worry about him in the backrooms? I don't know.
Both of them were eaten by Pinhead, and all that was left was their heads. It's thought that those 2 people stayed in their fake dream that was reality for too long, and they ended up being too weak to escape Pinhead's attack in real life. So 2 out of 8 total encounters with Pinhead.
So pretty much that's why he does it. He lets you stay in the dream for so long that he's able to enter the backrooms level, slowly eat away at your body parts until you only have a head left. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's able to so he's able to enter the backrooms level when you return, and you're so weak that he eats off your hands, he eats off your legs, he eats your body, and all you have left is your head, and you automatically die. I'm sorry, and this entity has only been seen a total of 8 times. Oh, well, I gotta get this right. This entity has only been seen 8 times in total, and 2 of them have led in people dying. That is crazy. So why do we even worry about him if he's already been spotted like literally only 8 times?
Have ended in unaliving, while the other 6 have lived through it, but each of them have certain mental issues from seeing reality but not being able to interact with.
So by them seeing actual reality, they have mental issues after escaping. I don't understand how that happens, how that works, but okay.
With it, or seeing someone they love and not being able to talk to them.
Excuse me? Yeah, let's get into what's his goal. Or their goal. I'm guessing the goal is probably just to keep you there so they can make you weak and then they can attack you and eat you. I'm gonna guess that. Let's see if I'm right.
So Pinhead's entire twisted goal is to appear in
It is very twisted.
your head right as you fall asleep on an odd numbered level. If he appears to you in your head, he'll make you dream about the real world. This dream isn't really a dream because it's
So it's kind of interesting because it's not even really a dream because it's an actual a live feed of the world, of the world the rest of your family lives on. Weird.
real. He literally sends you to reality just as an invisible person. And the entire time you're there, he keeps trying to scare you and make your stay longer so your real body in the backrooms will weaken enough for him to teleport out of the dream and then attack you and eat you. And you would be too weak to fight back.
Pretty much that is probably the creepiest entity I've seen do this. Like this is the entity that will go beyond just to kill and eat you. Okay. Okay.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrible.
The 6 survivors say that they left the dream by finding a room in their house with lots of windows inside and sleeping in it. Apparently, Pinhead doesn't like bright lights. And when they felt
Oh, so they found like a place where it has a lot of windows, that has a lot of light come in, because Pinhead does not like the light. That is a good way to escape. Good job.
fell asleep in the dream, they were sent back to normal sleeping, which they then woke up from on the level they went to sleep on. And apparently Pinhead will not attack if you aren't deteriorated enough.
Oh, so if you're not weak enough, it won't just be like, oogie boogie boogie. So if you're not weak enough, it just won't pop up. Okay. Literally, okay.
So if you manage to wake up, he won't attack you.
You're good.
And this might mean that he's too small or not
He's too wimpy. He's like the Diary of the Wimpy Kid. He's too weak.
strong enough to unalive a healthy person, but no one knows the real reason. All that's known is that the 2 people who were gone were
The 2 who decayed stayed in the dream for too long. So they just stayed in the dream for so long that they couldn't fight back.
probably deteriorated and malnourished from staying in the dream for too long.
Pretty much.
Also, you should definitely avoid sleeping on the floor of any odd-numbered level because you got a 16.7% chance.
So pretty much just don't try to fall asleep on odd levels. That's pretty much the way to not interact this entity or having a chance to interact with this entity.
Chance of having Pinhead appear in your head
And try to cook you alive, literally.
and forcing you to dream about reality and trying to keep you there. Entity number 100.
Okay, that is the end. Whoa, let me zoom in. Hold up. That is the end of Pinhead, aka Entity 832. This is the end of this section. I'll see you all in the next section, aka the dentist. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back, guys. We are continuing the same video. We are going to be talking about this entity called the dentist. I will not try to yap as much, so this video is not like 2 hours long. Let's hop right into it.
116
But if I do have a valid point, I will talk.
in the backrooms are commonly referred to as dentists by people that are stuck in these levels. They appear to be entities that resemble a melted and warped.
Hold on, I'm gonna move my chair up. So pretty much they're twisted entities.
Rough shape of a human.
Okay.
Except that's about all that they share with humans. The rest of the dentist creature is the exact opposite of being a real human. The bodies of dentists are made out of flesh from their victims.
Why can't we just have one dangerous backroom entity that just has a normal body? Okay, let's hop right back into it.
As well as their teeth, their gums, and their jaws as well. These different mouth parts have been harvested by the victims of the dentist and
They have been harvested. Yeah, I already do not like this entity.
placed all over their bodies. When a dentist entity is young and they haven't really hunted a human for their first time, their body won't have any of the teeth or any of the jaws or anything on it yet. Instead, young dentist entities appear to be skinless, small humanoids that look like little zombies running around. There's nothing on them but their flesh, and that's it. However, when the dentists mature, and they get older, more teeth, more tongues, more jaws, more gums, and all of
So pretty much they start off as like zombies, and once they get more victims, they turn more like fleshy and humanoid. hop right back into it. I mean, I guess okay. I mean, if that's how they want to live, that's how they want to live.
That will begin to appear all over the body in mass amounts. They'll just keep growing and growing. I'll get into
Mass amounts. Okay, yeah. Not gonna lie, I don't even wanna react to this entity, but we're still going to. Let's hop right back into it.
how they harvest all the mouth stuff later. Don't you worry. The heads of the dentist entities are typically stripped down just to jaw bones, and there's really no eyes to speak of. There might be holes where eyes should be, but there are no eyes. They have
So they only have jaws. Okay.
small ear holes as well that are very sensitive and they can hear from very far distances, but the
That could be a weakness. Their ears are sensitive. That could be a weakness on how to escape from them if it's possible.
main draw to the face, of course, is the massive jaws and mouth of
Of course.
these creatures. The jaws can open to an absurdly wide angle, and they can chomp down with
So it can go like this big. Okay.
an inhuman force.
So they're kind of like animatronics. They can go like this big and just go crumb, chomp. Pretty cool, guys.
Of course, this is due to their love for consuming teeth and bones. They need something to be able to crush
OFC.
them.
Of course.
Once a
AKA, oh, of course.
dentist is more matured and has racked up more victims, like I said,
Racked up more kills.
that his body will be covered with more teeth and more tongues and more bones.
So pretty much the more people it kills, the more teeth it will have and stuff like that. What have I gotten myself into? Why'd I even react to this, man?
As they get even older, these clumps of teeth will make it actually hard for the dentist to move around.
So they could just become like this and just have like teeth everywhere. Okay.
There's so many teeth, so many bones on their bodies, kind of just shoved and melted into them, that it makes them kind of waddle around and be top heavy. Some of them can barely even walk.
They're like penguins. Waddle, 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 waddle. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie.
And they kind of fall over when they do. A shiny layer
I'm trying to not talk like as quietly, but like I'm trying not to talk as quietly, but as loud enough that you guys can hear me. I'll be more elegenic, more
of saliva and phlegm covers the
So
entire
they pretty much just have a lot of saliva. All right.
dentist. And this liquid also leaks off of them and kind of leaves
So the liquid they have on them literally leaks off of them. What are we talking about here?
a trail behind where they walk, sort of like a snail trail. This phlegm
So pretty much they have a snail trail when they follow you. What is this entity and why does it want my teeth?
gives the teeth
And why is it kind of not like a dentist at all?
and the bones and stuff on the outside of the creature a shiny and glimmering look. And it also has a disgusting, abhorrent stench that emanates from it as well.
I mean, not gonna lie, I would kind of expect it to have a bad stench because it literally just has flesh on it and like dead teeth on it.
And it's as horrible as you might expect. Because of this, you will likely hear or smell a dentist entity before actually seeing it.
Of course.
It is unknown as of right now just how many of these dentist entities are roaming through the backrooms,
So there could be thousands of dentists. Of course there could be.
but it is assumed that the majority of them reside in level 64 and they reproduce asexually there. However, there
So I kind of wonder what level 64 is now.
have been some instances on other levels, which I'll talk about later, but just know that you probably should avoid level 64 because of this. Dentists emit loud, gurgling, and chortling noises as well that are
Kind of disgusting.
similar to how it sounds when you gargle mouthwash. These things
So you go something on the lines of that.
do not try to hide themselves. They do not attack by
So-
hunting stealthily or
So they don't try to be quiet at all. Okay.
anything like that. They do not rely on surprise, and that is not the name of their game. They are disgusting, they are grotesque, and they know it. Instead of
Grotesque is actually a good word to use in your vocabulary. It's actually a good word to use.
surprise attacks and stuff,
Amazing, right?
dentists will hobble towards wanderers the second they sense them nearby. Like I said, they can hear really well, so they might
So they can just like echolocation you. Of course they can.
hear you first. In the event that a dentist catches a person, they will then tackle that person,
And then you cook.
pin them down, or otherwise incapacitate them, and they'll instantly begin to pry open that person's jaws.
So pretty much they'll just try to beat you to the ground so you can't move and they'll just start prying out your teeth. Of course.
and take their gums, their molars, their jawbones, their tongue, and everything inside the mouth.
Ew. L entity.
After this, they will consume them via their mouth, and their body will absorb whatever they just ate, and it'll appear on the outside of their skin. Now, the
They absorb what they eat. Okay.
victim, which is you in this instance, will usually be alive for the beginning part of this extraction, but they typically eventually succumb to the injuries of having their mouths ripped off. If a wanderer somehow survives, the dentist will then finish the job via strangulation, blunt force, or
So even if you survive this entity, they will just try to choke you out or just punch you until you die. So technically there's no way to escape this entity. Wow.
suffocation. Even
There's normally a way to escape these, but I guess not.
though dentist entities are large and they're cumbersome and they're lethargic and they're just covered in
They're what?
bones and teeth, they usually get huge bursts of energy when they're about to attack people. It's kind of like a adrenaline rush or something, and this kind of gives them
Interesting.
enough power to win most fights they enter. So because of this, you need
So pretty much they get so happy they just get like powers like the Flash. They just get what? Okay.
to avoid them first by either smelling them or hearing them and getting the exact opposite way.
So pretty much they just get adrenaline rush to kill people. Okay.
Just running away. The scent of these disgusting creatures is thought to come from the gums that the dentist consumes,
Yeah, I would probably expect that though.
because they always appear to be in a constant state of decomposition and rot, just like old flesh would be. And that mucousy phlegm that comes out of their bodies is also said
Oh
to
yeah, they're also kind of like a snail. So ew, double.
have this
ew.
extremely sour and rancid smell because
Sour. It has a sour smell. Ew.
it is the
Ew.
saliva of all their victims mixed together and coming out of their own pores. The phlegm itself
Yeah, that is disgusting.
is also really toxic and corrosive, and people that have had a dentist try to take their teeth or have been touched by a dentist have noticed decay and rot where that mucus has touched them. Here is a picture of that when it happens. As you can see, the teeth are turning black and they're rotting out of that person's face. Hopefully
Ew. Why do they do this?
YouTube doesn't kick my channel to the shadow realm for showing that picture. Anyways, the most notable sense that
Yeah, mine either. Sorry. I'm gonna be after this. I'm sorry, YouTube. If that was just ketchup on the ground, please do not take down my video.
the dentist utilizes
All things that look like blood, they're not. They're actually just ketchup. They actually are blood. I just don't want YouTube to ban my stuff. Oh, let's get back to it.
are their insane abilities to hear. Those small ear holes on the side of their head, yeah, they're extremely sensitive, and they can literally pick up small sounds from over 1.5 miles away. This is thought to be because they don't have any eyes, so they rely more on their hearing, but that's neither
So they're kind of like echolocation. They depend on their ears, not because they don't have eyes. Interesting.
here nor there. They can hear really good, they're very strong, and they attack you and take your teeth. What else do you need to know? The grip strength and the finger strength of these creatures is also insanely high, because they literally can pry your mouth open and reach in and just rip out anything they want to. Obviously that takes a lot of strength, but they also have a lot of precision. Their fingers
It does take a lot of strength.
are long and spindly and sharp, and they kind of act like dentist tools.
I don't like that at all. Yeah, no, I'm good.
That go in your mouth and just go to work. These things are the epitome of disgusting and disturbing life in the backrooms. This vaguely humanoid, fleshy, disgusting creature that literally seeks to devour anything it sees. How could it get more backroomsy than that? I don't know. The creatures were first discovered when mega explorers were on level -33 and they saw a teethy humanoid figure trying to attack some poor wanderer. The
So pretty much these were found when they went into a level that was in the negatives, and they found a monster that had teeth on them. And they were like, "This is a dentist, I guess." Okay.
egg officials then neutralized the creature after 14 crossbow shots,
14. Oh my gosh.
mind you, and they noted that the teeth on the outside of these creatures kind of acts like body armor because
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool.
things will just bounce off of since they're teeth. But hopefully after this explanation, you can now see where the creature gets its name from, the dentist, because it acts like a dentist to take, you know, your teeth and gums and stuff away. It is unknown why it does this, it is unknown where these things come from, but they do reproduce asexually, and they live on level 64 mainly.
So that means they don't they like multiply. They don't do SEGGS. I can't say on YouTube, but they'll like demonetize my stuff.
But with all that information said, I think it's safe to say you should avoid level 64, unless you hate your teeth and want them gone. That is all the information we have on dentists. They're grotesque, they're uncanny, and they're pretty much everything that's horrible about the Backrooms. Leave a like if you think you could survive an encounter with a dentist entity, even though I know that you couldn't.
Yeah, I could probably not gonna lie, I could probably not survive an encounter. But this ends this section of the video. The dentist entity. I will be back right after this to react to the Johnny section of this video. I'll see you all in that part. Welcome back, everybody. We're in the same video. We are going to be reacting to this entity called Johnny. I have seen this entity before in one of this guy's other video, but this is one of the most deadly entities, so let's hop right into it.
Basically, Johnny seems to be a shadowy, dark entity of an unknown physical size. Most people that see him,
yeah, that's creepy,
really don't survive the encounter to give accurate details.
of course.
But from the few that have, or the few that have pictured him, he seems to be a grotesque, dark shape with large white eyes.
So disgusting humanoid with a big mouth and creepy eyes.
He smells of rot and decay, and
So this is kind of like the previous chapter of the dentist. He smells like this one entity smells like rot and decay. Okay. But without further ado, let's hop right back into it.
he behaves very sadistically and malevolently.
So very like he like rushes towards you to try to act on you, which is kind of weird, but I mean, hey, it's Johnny, I guess.
Johnny can sense when lights turn on in this level, and the second one does.
So he can sense when something turns on or turns off. That's kind of not good for us or the person in the level.
He will sprint at an unnaturally quick pace to that location. That's how he hunts. He seems to mainly hang out in that dining room.
So pretty much he can run really fast. Just so we can skip over this part, these little things are heads that have been taken off people that have fell into Johnny's hands. And they're pretty much like a skull that has been rearranged, just so we can save a little bit of time.
Room area where those heads are at the center of the level. So if you wander to that room, or if you accidentally get there on purpose, it'll be the last thing you do, most likely. Johnny's attacks are vicious and aggressive, and he will
we'll skip over the part where he explains what the heads are, but he's giving us a little background before he gets to that.
slash and bite and do anything in order to despawn you or his victims. After this, he will then take their head back to the table for display. He kind of seems to feed off of fear. It is unknown if Johnny is some kind of mutated entity, like a wretch or a hound or a redkin, or what his true form is. But since the level is covered in this misty darkness,
That's totally not creepy.
and Johnny's full body has never been seen, we can just guess that he looks gross, because he smells gross. Whatever or whoever it is, he does not like letting people visit the level, and will do anything to get your head on his table.
So, never mind, he actually does not explain the heads in this video, but he does in another video. That's the end of the Johnny chapter, and I'll see you guys in the next section called Entity 987. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Welcome back, guys. We're in the same video. This is the next part called Entity 987. Let's hop right into it. I'll try not to talk as much, but let's hop right into it.
So first up for this video is Entity 987, aka the God on level 532. And this entity is deeply ingrained into the Backrooms history and lore because it seems to be very similar to a god that exists in ancient texts that have been found in the Backrooms. I'll leave the
Interesting.
full article linked below. Go check it out if you want to see how it is so ingrained, because it's crazy and you should check it out. But to keep it simple, I'll go over the basics here. Backrooms Entity 987 is...
Ooh, we have a little classified thing. So its habitat is level 538, but its ID, like its entity number, is 987. That's why it's called Entity 987.
classified as an IETS rating of 5B, which means
IETS, I have no idea what that is, but let's keep going.
it's extremely dangerous to humans and highly
So you pretty much don't want to interact with it, or you'll probably get be cooked. Okay.
intelligent. Now, the actual creature itself is a humanoid type entity that was actually found locked inside of a small room on level 532. In this small room is a prison cell. Its
Interesting.
skin is dark gray, and it looks really old and worn. It only wears a ripped up robe from head to toe, and its face is really smooth with no facial features, except for one blue eye in the middle. It doesn't even
So it kind of looks like a cyclop because it only has one eye. Interesting. Very interesting.
have a mouth, but somehow it can talk, and it doesn't just speak English, it can speak most human languages. The entity seems to not be able to escape the cell it's locked in,
And that's why it was locked in the cell, obviously, for obvious reasons.
except it can, and I'll explain in a second. But everyone should avoid this cell at all costs, because every time somebody goes there, something bad happens. Now, there is an entity log between someone and the entity on this page, and that someone is a Meg officer named David Armstrong. And David Armstrong was supposed to go to this entity, approach it, and ask a few questions about making a deal, so Meg could see how this entity would respond to bribes and questioning. Now, Armstrong went into the room alone, right in front of the prison cell, and other people
I'm guessing he probably died.
waited outside of the room to see what would happen. After Armstrong introduces himself to the entity, even though the entity already knew his name, he asks the entity if he can grant Armstrong eternal life. So he's pretty much saying, you know, are you powerful enough to give me eternal life? The entity says that he can, and the doctor wants to do a handshake to seal the deal. So
Interesting. So questioning this entity.
he sticks his hand through the prison door, and the entity grabs to shake his hand back. Except, this electrocutes the doctor and makes his body fall to the floor. Then the entity's body slumps back into the cell, but the doctor gets up and turns around and looks at the entity in the cell and says, quote, "Have fun with your immortality, David," and then walks up the stairs, leaving the mind and the soul of the doctor trapped in the body of the entity in the cell. Nice. So,
What? That's kind of creepy. That's actually really, really creepy.
yeah, I guess the entity is free now in the body of Dr. Armstrong. Or maybe he could have already moved to another body. Who knows?
So pretty much the entity electrocuted him and swapped bodies with him and escaped through the other guy's body. That was pretty interesting. That was entity, I'm gonna make sure I don't butcher the lettering. That was entity 987. This is the end of that section. The next section will be hopping into entity 45. Let's get right into entity 45. Welcome back, guys. This is the last entity in the video. It is called entity 45. Let's hop right into it. I'll also try not to yap so much.
Next up for the video is Entity 4.
Ooh, we get a little log. So its intelligence is B+, its danger is level 3, its entity level, entity ID is 45.
45, or the Chupavitas. This entity
So it looks like there might be multiple of this entity. It has an S on it.
has an IETS rating of 3B+, which means that they're pretty smart and they're really dangerous. These creatures were originally thought to be legends or ghost stories or made up because of how they
So they seem to be like myths, and they are actually real. That is probably not the best thing for humans, or I guess us.
look, but we're pretty sure they're real. They take the form of
So we really don't know if they are real, but we think they are. Okay.
Ghostly humanoids that are sitting around a campfire, bonfire type thing. Except that isn't actually what they look like, that's just what they show themselves as. And
Interesting.
they do this in order to lure prey to them. And if you're smart, you might notice that some things seem off about this scene. The fire that they're supposedly sitting around doesn't actually give out any heat. Instead, it actually seems to take warmth away from anybody who goes near it. And that will make you weaker. Now these entities
So the campfire doesn't give heat, it takes heat. So it doesn't give it off, it takes from people. Interesting.
normally appear near places that people don't really go to and entities don't really go to.
So where people don't really go to, or no one really goes to.
That way they kind of seem more out in the middle of nowhere. And for this reason, it was originally thought that they weren't even real. Now these creatures are even more powerful than making
That's why they thought they weren't real, because they were in like weird places no one would be at. Interesting.
a fake fire, though. They can also transform themselves to look like normal people, and even talk like them too. When a real wanderer comes to this fire and is lured in to sit down with them, they'll sit down and they'll be under the illusion that they're getting warmer and relaxing and they're talking with these random people. Since the
But in reality, it's taking the heat from them.
Chupavitas can show themselves as real humans, a wanderer would just think they're talking to random strangers. When in reality, the fire they're sitting at is taking their warmth and their life force, and the entities sitting around are not friendly. They try to convince you to stay there longer and longer by telling stories and saying, "Oh, don't go," but they make you stay even longer to take your life force. Some people have
So they pretty much want, so it's pretty much like a trap. They want to keep you there so they can steal the heat from you and your life force. Wow, that's kind of weird, but creepy too.
been able to escape the trap in the middle of it, but if they do, they seem to have big chunks of their memories missing, or even parts of their identity missing too. Like, you can't even remember half your stuff at that point. A long time ago, these creatures could barely
Even if you do escape, you lose your memory. That is actually wild, man. That's wild.
mimic human speech, and people always avoided them. But it seems like over time, they've gotten more and more smart, and even more
So
bold
they've gotten more victims.
in luring people over, which is kind of creepy that they're evolving.
So pretty much when they get more people, they'll start like getting their life force and evolving. That was pretty cool. Thank you guys for reacting to this with me. This was the last deadliest Backrooms entities. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!